Hello, everybody, and welcome to Candid Conversations. We are back. We had our little vacation. Now, here we are back to the conversations, back to the ruckus, back to Sean's shenanigans. Um, yeah, so Derek is going to be a little late, but he'll be on shortly. So we are going to bring Sean on to the stage.
Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
That's
What
what you
up?
got. Is what up? What up? What up?
I got my glass. You see, everybody told me they wanted me to. They wanted to see me with my glass. I got my glass. It's good to be back. I hope everybody missed us. We got a good show today. I guess. I hope. Gonna be a lot of opinions.
I wonder where the opinion's gonna come from, though.
What do you mean? Where they gonna come from?
I wonder where they're gonna come from. It's
They
gonna
gonna
be
come from
mostly
this
women.
glass.
Is it gonna be mostly women? Or is it gonna be coming from these butthurt men? So
Hold on. Why the men got to be butthurt? Like, what's that all about?
because they was butthurt. I was viewing some of these videos um a little earlier.
Uh, uh, I'm not gonna agree with butthurt because it's not that
It was going
personal.
it was going in they was going in for no they was making it like they knew who these people was.
I mean, but on the opposite side of that, you can say the same thing about the women's take on it. They acting like they know who these people are.
Kind of sort of, because I think people just go
Hold on,
by
why is kind of sort of on one side? It is not kind of sort of on the other side.
because they was all going in on one person. Hello, Kamisha. Because everybody was going in on one person, making it seem like it's her. Like, no,
I
it's
don't.
a
I'm not gonna
process
say.
to that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it was her. I think it was some people just speaking on these situations. She just happened to be the caveat of everything. She's the focal point, but I don't think it's just a her thing.
Well, from what I was viewing, it was a her thing.
I hear you.
And how dare she? And how dare
Mm.
she? But just in case everyone does not know, tonight's conversation is about the last name change. And is it okay for your child's mother to change your child's last name or add on to your child's last name if they decide to get married or whatever, and then they decide that they are going to give your child another man's last name? Is that okay? And from what I saw, many men said no. Thank you, Kamisha. I am so happy I was not the only person seeing that these men were going off for no reason.
For no reason, huh?
For no reason. I didn't see. Well, like I said, we don't know them personally, but from
There
what
we
I
go.
saw, from what I read, that was dated not recently, but from even years ago when they first had they breakup and going on and lawsuits, and it was a lot going on with these people.
Yes.
And but at the end of the day, I just felt like, okay, if everybody else is saying Future's a deadbeat or his other baby mothers, because let's not forget this man has 8 kids. So if all his other baby mothers are saying the same thing, Ciara sued this man for lying on her, saying that she refused to let him see her son and he was paying all his money in child support, and she actually sued him for it because she said it was for investigations, and she brought her receipts, and it was proven that he was lying.
Was it? Hold on, wait, because I read the same thing. It was proven that he was lying, or did it move until? Let me ask the question. Or did it move into whereas everything was basically moved out of court and everything along with that went private? That's what I read.
Their custody agreement was private, so nobody knows how much he was issued to pay child support. Nobody knows how much he was issued to pay in child support.
Exactly.
If he did have visitation rights, the only thing I think that was public was the fact that Ciara got sole custody of her son. I think
that was so basically what I just said.
But so basically what I just case was not private.
Okay, but it didn't say that there was anything awarded.
No, it didn't say that it was awarded. It said what it stated was that Ciara sued him for defamation because she said he was lying. She bought receipts and he didn't. And it was proven that what she was saying, that she set up 21 visits for him to retrieve his child, and he showed up to none.
Okay, but what we're talking about now, we were just talking about him being a deadbeat as far as the child support and everything like that. None of that was actually proven.
Or do know that before you could even anything.
You was going in and out. Say that again.
Child support?
No, what I'm saying is
pay his child support?
No, what I'm saying is, as far as what you were just saying, all of that went private. None of that was actually proven. It just moved into a private situation.
That's what I said. I said her custody case went private. It was no longer public, but her defamation case was not.
But it was not said that it was anything awarded or won, correct?
No, I didn't read that anything was awarded to her.
Okay, so there is no winner and no loser. It was just
it was just the fact that she was clearing her name, that what he was saying about her was untrue, and that was founded that it was untrue.
But if nothing was ever founded and put public, how do you know that it was?
Said that nothing was unfounded. What they said was they didn't say it was a set amount of money given to her, but it did say that it was proven that she was not lying. That she showed.
I didn't read that.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I didn't read it. Not saying that was the case, but I didn't read that.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, but just for the record,
he has 8 kids.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. What I would say, because every situation, if you got 20 kids, every situation is different.
Absolutely.
You know, every situation is different, and what I've known is people can be very nasty, people can be very manipulative, people can lie. But the one thing that I've not seen happen with this situation is we didn't hear from one person's mouth. We hear what everybody else is saying, but we didn't hear from one person's mouth. And that's what I said to you. Let me, and you can have it. He did what?
It was a tweet. It was a tweet.
He tweeted. Now I'm a man, right? I'm a man, and I've been through the court system. What I read was, I don't give a F. Congratulations.
That's not what I read. I saw that tweet, but I saw another one that he put out, and like him and Russell Wilson was kind of going back and forth on Twitter. It was like he could have your last name, but he'll always have my DNA or something like that. He had put up there.
And so let me ask you this.
And then Russell.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do that sound celebratory?
No, I don't think anybody would celebrate somebody. I mean, another man having their child's last name. I don't think anybody should celebrate that.
No. The reason why I'm asking is, the narrative went that it's all good. Everything is cool. And I was like, that tweet didn't sound like everything was good and celebratory. It seemed like it was against his will. Or did I read it wrong?
Okay, but I mean, you could have, but for me, I feel like once I kind of looked into it and researched it a little bit on how you have to go about getting your child's name changed, and you actually have to petition the other parent for their permission. So
yeah,
in order for that to happen. So
no,
if that's what she did, if that's the law, go ahead.
No, basically what can happen is you can ask for permission. And if the non-residential parent says, no, I don't want that, you can actually file a motion and petition the court to hear your side. So so the judge can make a decision. So just because just because it was done doesn't mean that he had approved for it to happen. They might have just put it in anyway, and a judge ruled in their favor. But everything is private, so we don't know that. That's why I said after everything went private, why
would it? I feel like if a judge is going to rule in the parent's favor to let another man's name be part of a child's name, it has to be a very good reason why. They're not just.
It can be a whole lot of reasons why.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? Because you married.
No, it basically says for the betterment of the child. Now, let's say this child going under the tutelage of Russell Wilson, and the judge is looking at that like that may help this child in the future to be successful because now he has this legacy behind him. Plus, we also got to look at it's a different level of money going on right here. We look at things from our level and our perspective. When you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars,
absolutely it is.
Yeah, when we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of things can be manipulated. And we sit here behind our in front of our soapboxes with our opinions, Monday morning quarterbacking. We're only getting a limited amount of information that's going to give our opinion, but we also are very, very we have our feelings attached to it because we have our opinions and our emotions. I mean,
I have an opinion when people bring it up, and
yeah, you do. We all had an opinion on it.
But it is what it is because at the end of the day, if that's what they decided to do, and I'm pretty sure before you do anything like that, you talk to your child because he is old enough to say whether or not he wants to someone else's last name.
That can be tricky as well. That can be tricky as well.
I know, like me, I know somebody right now who's going through the same thing, and her son asked for his father's last name to be removed from his because his father really do nothing for him. So,
but that's like, that situation. That's that situation.
But I'm pretty sure that you have a conversation with your kid before you just change their last name. And she didn't really change his last name. She added a name. So
yes,
his father's name is still there. It's not like she took it off.
Let me say this, right? Let me say this. Because manipulation and allegiances is real as a mother effer, right? Now, let's say I know somebody personally, right? That when they went into, because there's a room that you go into once you have a child, right? Because you got to name the child, you got to sign paperwork, right?
Yeah. You go into mediation.
I not even like mediation. I'm talking about once you have birth. Once you're leaving, you go into that room and you file the paperwork and this thing, for the social security numbers or the birth certificates and this, that, and the third. Yeah. I know somebody personally that said, if you don't marry me, I'm going to drop your last name and just use my last name. They use both names because I don't want it to look like I'm not married. So the child is going to carry my last name. And if you look at that child to this day, which was over 20 years ago, if you look at that to this day, that child goes by that other last name. Whenever things is have to go professional or has to go as far as paperwork or insurance, you'll see both names. But for the general public, they only use the mother's name.
Okay.
Because the mother didn't want to look like she wasn't married. So you got a lot of different situations to where people use things for their advantage. They're petty, you know, they can be manipulative, and you can groom children from this big to create allegiances because they don't truly understand what this is. It's not a big thing to some people in their minds, but that person would always say, oh, well, why don't you use my name instead of your last name? And they were like, no, because that's what their agenda was. And at that time, the court systems is very, very biased to women. It's starting to get better. It's starting to get better, but they were very, very biased. But now when you fast forward, right, not even to that situation, when you're talking about manipulation through celebrity and money, that's a different level. I mean, I don't like it. I didn't like it. And the reason why is because, and I said to you, I was like, once he speak his piece, then so be it. Right? So be it. But we all voiced our opinions on it. But just going out with that, knowing the history of them and how it started, where they were beefing. They were beefing like it was unheard of. And then for you to do that, I just felt like I didn't really care for it. Well, that's your children. You do what you do.
They actually said she did that a couple of years ago, so his name's been
changed. Yeah, it happened a couple of years ago and just went public. Yeah,
people just noticed it when they went out on the outing together, and they noticed that his last name was Wilson. So it wasn't a big
because that's what he tweeted. I mean, that was the caption under the picture. Mm-hmm. Then it was like, oh, so you basically kept this a secret for years.
But was she supposed to tell the whole world that she changed her son's last name?
Like, you don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say anything. I'm not gonna say, anything about that.
I don't think it was a secret. I just think she didn't put it out there on blast. Like, oh, look, I changed my. Because everybody don't put everything on social media. But
I hear you, and I can understand it, but I don't care for it. I think playing with people's children is a different level of pettiness, and it can create an issue. I was actually in court myself for a situation like this, and the judge ruled in my favor because I'm a father, and he called it provocative to play with this man's children.
I'm going to read some of the comments, and this is from Raquel. She says, Ciara has full custody. She's the primary parent. If she could prove that the biological parent hasn't been around at all, her husband can petition to adopt the child under the gauze of potential abandonment. But I think there's a certain amount of time that has to pass. And you're absolutely right. It does.
But I don't think this was an abandonment thing. I don't think this was an abandonment thing.
A judge, just like you said, when they go to the courts, because like I said, I researched it, but when they go to the courts and she has to petition the court, she still has to prove that Future is an inactive father, and so is his family. It's not just about him. It's him and the family have to be inactive in the child's life for more than 3 years.
Yeah, but I don't think this was an abandonment situation.
No, it's not even about just even for her to change his name without his consent. She has to prove that he was an inactive father for more than 3 years of the child's life. Him and his family had to have been.
I Yeah, I didn't read that as far as the last name. I read that they can petition the court for the betterment of the child. That's just what I read.
Yeah, they can, but I had, like I said, I went into I want because I wanted to know all the details of
Yeah, because you can petition the court for anything.
you know
You can file a motion for anything
about doing it and how the judge goes about granting it without the father's permission, and those are one of the conditions in order for a judge to grant it. He has to be in act for more than 3 years, and so does his family.
Yeah, or just what's for the betterment of the child. But go ahead and continue with the with some of the comments.
And Raquel asks, didn't Future biologically change his own last name? He did. Future changed his last name to Cash. He legally changed his last name to Cash. Too. So none of them have his last name. None of his 8 kids. So I don't even know why it's such a big deal.
But that's a different situation. That's a different situation where it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Changing me changing my name, and because I want to, because maybe I'm an artist or whatever the case may be. But my child is something different.
Yeah, but you
like Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson changed his last name to Ocho Cinco. But his children is Johnson. Because that's his family's name. Like sometimes we do silly nonsense when we're entertainers.
But his name is still there. That's the thing that I really didn't even get either, because it wasn't like she eliminated his last name. She didn't. She just added her husband's last name to his.
Oh no, I get it. So it's still a change. It's still a change.
So?
What do you mean so?
So?
And you know what's funny? That I thought and a longtime friend of mine has said this on my actual thread, which I kind of understand and I agree, because I had to deal with that at one time in my life. You got a lot of women that's championing for this situation for Ciara, which is I don't have anything to do with it personally. It's just my opinion. And they're like, oh well, why is it a big thing, or this, that, and the third? Is this a change? And one of my friends had posted on my thread and said, I don't see how women feel like this is not, a thing when a man can have his child and his girlfriend will do the child's hair. And the residential parent, which is the mother, will black out. So that man can't change his child's hairstyle by the other girlfriend or wife, but you can change the name. So a name is fine, but cornrows that's where we cut it all off at. Cornrows.
I think that's just being petty and being bitter on a woman's side. But when it comes to like this whole scenario or whatever, it's like we don't know the true scenario of it, but we do see things on social media. We do see Russell with Little Future, and that boy,
it can be manipulated.
He calls him dad in the videos and things like that. Like these are videos that we all see. So, and you see,
I've never seen these things.
I have. I just seen today or yesterday. They were he got hit. It was like I think his birthday or something like that, and Russell Wilson had bought him like a whole bunch of stuff, and he was showing it off. They were showing it all together, and he was like, "Yeah, y'all want to see what my dad bought me?" Like, it's there.
Yeah,
but
that could be used as manipulation.
To me, I'm sorry. The man got 8 kids, and I really don't think that out of his 8 kids.
That's not what I said. That's not.
No. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying to this particular situation is that I don't think everybody's lying on Future. I don't think all his baby mothers got into a pact and said, "Oh my God, we all just gonna gang up on Future and say that he's a deadbeat dad." When your own firstborn son goes on social media and calls you out as a deadbeat dad, and all your baby mothers are saying the same thing about you,
An allegiance is an allegiance.
Like
You
everybody,
get a bunch of.
Everybody just ganging up on this one person.
Come on, you walk into a room.
What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
Come on, cousin. We're smarter than that. You walk into a room of blatant Republicans, and they'll all tell you Martin Luther King ain't SHIT.
Okay.
But that's not true. Just because a bunch of people agree with you don't necessarily mean that you're right. You just created an allegiance. That's all I'm saying.
People are agreeing. These are his children's mothers.
Yeah, it happens. I've been in court. I've been in court. I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Have one of your kids ever went on social media and said you was a deadbeat dad and you wasn't?
No, my son was upset with me. I had, you know, I don't want to go too personal, but I had things said negatively about me. And you know what? Maybe I was a little smarter, but you know what saved it for me? My videos, my postings,
exactly.
My pictures. But that's me. That don't mean that manipulation doesn't happen. That don't mean that manipulation doesn't happen.
You from the false narrative of what people are saying about you, and I'm not saying
that's what I said. That's me.
Not happen. I'm just saying that in this particular case, I just don't think that it's manipulation. I just think it's the truth, and I think that she did what was best for her son, and she gave the person that's raising her son and showing him things that his father should be showing him.
Possibly.
That man's last name.
Possibly.
That's my opinion on it, and I think that and I feel like in anybody's situation, if you have a parent that is inactive and they're not doing what they're supposed to do for the child, and they're an inactive parent, and you get married, and this man takes on that whole entire role of being this child's father, and he is guiding him, and he's doing all of this stuff, and he wants to have this man's last name, then so be it.
I'm not disputing that.
Right to it.
I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying is this is not a hard thing. This is Russell Wilson, right? This is Russell Wilson. It's not hard to say I want this guy as my dad. I want this guy is giving me millions and millions of dollars. He's a celebrity. He's this, he's that. Yeah, my dad is my dad, but this guy is a different level of celebrity. This guy got a different level of money. It's not hard to attach myself to that. It's not hard for me to want to be attached to that. Look at P. Diddy. Hey, hold on, wait. P. Diddy, they ain't even ain't even his kid. They ain't even his kid. But he's like, no, I'm gonna be a Combs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Albie Shore is looking at it like, no, that's my son. But because I'm living a privileged life, possibly, I don't know. All I'm saying is my only thing was I'm not disputing anything. I'm not truly against anything. All I said was I would like to hear his side.
Okay.
That's all I said.
Hopefully one day when Future feel like it, he'll let everybody know his side of the story.
And the other thing, because we always hear that. We always hear that. Like you can see a video with police department, and what they'll say, oh, we need to see all of the tape. You'll see something, with a woman's situation, and they'll go, oh, well, we need to hear her side too. But when it's a man, it's like, oh no, just don't to the world. Really
it's just really, and to me, I just feel like sometimes people just want to bring out certain things because it's about a certain person. Because he ain't the only
people
celebrity
do too much.
He's not the only celebrity that has. You know what I'm saying? And nobody said squat dilly shit when Steve Harvey went and took somebody 3 kids and gave them his last name. That was okay. Nobody didn't care about that.
No, nobody said it was okay. Yeah. Nobody's saying it's okay.
But because it's Russell Wilson, and I feel bad for Ciara because the videos and stuff that I've seen of them bashing her and saying all these nasty things about her, to me, it was just uncalled for because you're
that's
not
going
really
to happen.
It's like
that's going to happen. You're going you put yourself in the public eye. You got to take the good with the bad. I like Russell Wilson. I think he's an amazing guy. But at the same time, at the same time, at the same time, we don't know him. We don't know them. That can be a front. Correct?
What could
I
be a
said,
front?
I like him. I like, the public persona and this, that, and the third. But at the same time, we don't know him.
We don't.
We don't know him. That can all. What I'm saying is that can all be a front for the public.
We all know that. Anything that you see,
we're making. What I'm saying is
everything that we see on social media could be a front. Anybody,
and that's what I'm saying to you. That's all I'm saying to you. That's all I'm saying to you and the people that's watching. We're making giving our opinions on very limited information or very strategic or maybe, just convenient, information. We don't know these people.
We absolutely
can all be a front. And the one thing that I said a little while ago, because I was like, sometimes people be doing too much, because once again, I've seen this situation to whereas somebody, there was somebody telling a child to call the stepdad daddy, right? Father's active, he's there. They actually had to go to court, right? To deal with the situation. Judge ruled in a man's favor, right? Now the two ain't together no more. So you took this child through all of this. You could tell the person to call him this and you can call him that, to whereas like now the child who's older, they don't even have a good relationship. So this was all for this momentary situation because people be doing too much. Now, what I had said was, let's say if this do pan out, to where everything goes away, and hopefully not, God forbid, they get a divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then one day they get a divorce. And let's say she get back with Future.
Oh, please.
Let's just say, not saying that that's the case. Now they got to go back to court to sanction a court to take the name off. Like this, sometimes we be doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we be doing too much.
But I think
sometimes we be doing too much. Like we're trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to appease certain people, to appease certain things. It's like sometimes we got to tell a child no, that we're going to keep it simple. Sometimes we got to tell our significant others, like, yo, let's just keep it simple. Because we're trying to please people and we're trying to create this big old ordeal to where everything is just so great.
Maybe she wasn't trying to please people. Maybe that's just something that she wanted.
I'm not saying her. I'm talking in general right now.
All right, everybody.
I think Russell Wilson is on a surface. I think he's a great guy. I think he's an amazing guy. He looks like a great man. I mean, but we don't know these people. There's a lot of people that we've seen in our time that we thought was great people, and they wasn't. I'm not saying that he isn't a great person.
Okay,
but
everybody.
What I believe is sometimes we be doing too much. Keep it simple.
All right, everybody. The deacon has arrived. So we are going to bring him onto the show. And he's going to join the conversation.
That's good. I'll be back.
My apologies, good people. Had back to school night. But I'm here to talk about
the last name change. The last name change. Don't be coming up here unprepared.
I'm prepared. I'm prepared, and I was listening in, and I agree with I agree with some things that was being said. I disagree with some things that was being said.
I disagree with the fact that I can't believe people really got an issue with people changing people's last names. I believe that if you have an inactive father and that child, and just because you made this child, if you're not a part of that child's life, that woman has every right to do what she needs to do for her child.
They got to do what she needs to do for her child. Has nothing to do with changing names. Doing what she needs to do.
Raising them.
Right, but here's the thing. It's a difference from him being an absentee father There's a difference from him being an absentee father in his child's life and him being an absentee father. An absentee co-parent to you, because you and him can still communicate, even if now you say I reached out to him time and time again, he don't pick up the phone. I call, he don't say nothing. And then you made a decision. I don't got nothing to say. But the fact of the matter is nothing that said. She never once came out and said, I reached out to Future as many times as I could to discuss, have this conversation with him because this is what I felt I wanted to do. But when you take my choice away from me, if I'm there or not, if I'm alive, that's a problem I'm going to have.
Then that's your problem.
But it's not a problem because if
Did she just say that's your problem?
uh, he wasn't there. Russ wasn't there. At the when he was born, when my son was born, Russ wasn't there to sign the wasn't there to sign the birth certificate. Was I there to sign the birth certificate? Because when you do the research, they do speak about the fact that he's been absent in Sierra, saying, he's an absentee father. But his piece on it is my lifestyle makes me be an unconventional father.
Can I add to that? And you can have back both of their lifestyles.
Yeah, well, I can't speak to that. I'm telling you what he said.
No. The only reason why I'm saying that is because if you take Russell Wilson, right? He's a football player. In the last 3-4 years, they moved to 3-4 different states. Right? He was in Seattle, he was in Denver, he was in Pittsburgh, he was in New York. So they're moving to go to these different, states to play football. And then 8 out of these 17 games, he's not home. Russell Wilson is not home. He's traveling to play football. So he's not home. Like, so, you got to factor in all of those different things as well.
Right. But on the piece of Future, because we're talking about somebody who all we don't know the perspective that Sierra has, because Sierra she's not saying that he's not financially providing for her.
They can't speak on it now.
There's nothing where she said that he's an absentee father, but she hasn't said that he does not financially provide or hasn't given any financial, hasn't provided for his son financially. Because I looked it up to find the wording. So it's a perspective.
You're right. She disagreed with the number that he said.
Right. So, so there's a difference in if Russ is here every day and he could take him, he doesn't miss a birthday, and he takes him shopping and buys him all nice things, and now he's acting in a role of a father, which he's very much supposed to do because he married his mother.
Yeah, he's in the house.
We gotta stop overpraising people for doing what the heck their job to do when they get into a relationship with someone. Of course, I want to be a good stepdad if I decide to fall in love and marry you, because I understand that my marrying you, your child is a part of that. It's a package deal. So we're sitting here applauding a man for doing what he's supposed to do when he decided to marry her. The people you applaud is the side dudes and the boyfriend. Those people you applaud because they're the ones that don't have a right. They don't have to do it. But when I said I'm going to provide for you, cover you, protect you, honor you, when I said that, that means that your child became a part of that agreement that I made with you before God.
And you're in-house, present every day.
So of course I'm going to see you on your birthdays because I live there.
Yeah.
Of course I'm gonna take you shopping because I'm going shopping.
And nobody's arguing that.
So,
but I agree with Derek because what he's saying is
nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing that. If you are a good parent, you're a good parent. If you're a good stepfather, you're a good stepfather. But when you are an inactive, I'm not talking about fathers who are active in their kids' lives. When you're active in your child's life, you don't have to worry about half of that stuff because you're
that's not true.
Parent.
That's not true at all.
That's not true.
Beyond that, if I've been blessed because I am a good father. And I'm not taking nothing from any good father because there's a bunch of good fathers. I have some very good friends who are good fathers who are on child support. But I know
they catch hell. They catch hell.
And I know some friends who've been
just
through the child support process. Just because you're a good father don't mean you don't get to go on child support. No. I'm not. I'm saying, but during that process, I've also been told from those very same fathers that they said that they don't have to do any. That the courts have told them. They don't have to do anything else but pay
outside of paying their child support.
Outside paying your child support. So
they're absolutely correct.
Right. So then if I don't have to do anything else outside of paying my child support, how dare you sit here and sing the song about me being an absentee father when, as Sean said, as you've been across, you done moved across the world 19 times. My life has me across the world working on this project. So we are missing each other. We're missing each other in the moonlight. We're like two trains passing each other at night. Mm-hmm. But I'm an absentee father. But then you want to give props to the man who signed up to do these things because he signed up to marry you. You don't reward someone. You don't reward them, and you don't reward the man that signed up to marry you. You don't reward him by punishing me. That's petty.
I don't think that's punishing nobody, but I got a clip, and we're gonna go into the clip, and then we'll come back to the conversation.
Deprive my family of the definition of break the cycle. You deprive my family of the chance to break a cycle.
But to their argument, you deprive your family of that. and that's the point.
But that shouldn't speak for my entire lineage and legacy. There's bad apples. Every family got them. So I mean, ooh, you failed the family name. Okay, I had you though. So you, with the right parenting, can go and grow and fix all of this shit. And if we change in your last name,
I see your point.
Then
I see your point.
Yeah, that just is nuts to me.
That's a little bit feels like an ego trip. Then it's like if you care that much about your family,
the other way feels like
both ways are ego trips.
The other way,
we gonna point them out on both ends.
No. I'm saying in this particular case, again, in the case where I'm talking about the people. Again, I'm talking about the people who have been shitty fathers. But I want you to keep my name so you can clean up my legacy. If you care that much about your legacy, then raise them.
See, you're looking at that the wrong way.
I'm only talking about in the case of shitty father.
The shitty father that's looking at it that way is, in my opinion, a selfless way to look at it. You're not thinking about you. You're thinking about everybody in your family that's not just you. You're thinking about the Johnsons before you, the Johnsons after you, the Johnsons from 50, 60, 70, 100 years. Why are you... I don't look at it like
some
that.
shitty fathers ain't thinking about none of that.
Right. That's what I'm saying is if in this hypothetical Joe piece of shit, right, he was raised by a Wilson who actually did all the work to make that kid great, because again, he's not around, he's a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
So he was in the Wilson house getting to school. The Wilson person gave him the education, gave him the mentoring, the training, and now he's a doctor.
That ain't come from Button.
Yeah. And
so what? What? Wait, so what?
I'm saying I could see. I'm just saying I could see the other side of it. Again, I'm saying I could see why somebody would say, "We raised you, we made you, and this is home for you." And so if everybody else in the house is a Wilson, I want you to be a Wilson too.
So then that's the ego play.
I don't think I know it's to make the kid feel home, not because I want.
It could be both. I get your point.
Yeah,
I get it.
I was doing something. So I don't know.
I understand everybody's take.
Everybody watches the Joe Biden podcast, but that was.
Did you say Joe Biden? The Joe Biden podcast.
Biden. they were talking about the Russell Wilson thing just as well. I think everybody was talking about the Russell Wilson thing, and that was his.
I understand everybody's take.
His legacy is being taken away because he's considered a Wilson and not what is Future's Wilburn.
No, I get it. I understand everybody's take. It's just my thing with the opposite side, the non-residential parent. We don't know all of the facts.
We don't.
That's my only point.
Even talking in general, without even talking about the Ciara and Future thing, does a woman have a right to change her child's last name if she chooses so?
You can petition a court, and then both of you can argue about it. I think is a little disrespectful. If you're, if you're a dad, if you're a present father, right? Let's say with you're present mother, right? You're non-residential, but you're present. And you overhear that it's allowed that your daughter and sons can call this woman mommy. You're present. Everybody don't know all the facts, but you know that you're present. You wouldn't feel that's disrespectful to you?
If my kids was calling somebody else mom?
If you were told, if your kids were told, yeah, you know what, you can call her mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you feel that's disrespectful?
If I'm an active parent in my child's life, yes.
You can keep repeating it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm listening.
We don't know if there's any
question.
No, what I'm saying is we don't know. Sometimes, because what I'm saying is sometimes we can telegraph things. We can present things to children or young people that's a part of our agenda, but act like we're not doing that. You can understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
You can manipulate it. He's around like your dad, but he's not really your dad. But if you want to call him your dad, it's okay. So I'm not telling you to, but basically I'm presenting it.
This is my question, and this has nothing to do with actually changing the last name. What if you have a kid and the mother, y'all not married, and the mother decides that I'm just not gonna give my child your last name?
Then you're getting away from tradition, which basically is, like I always say, let's get back to family, because you're supposed to be married before you have children. Mm-hmm. We do things wrong, right? We do things untraditional, which makes us have to flip and bounce and recreate nonsense. And I'm a part of it as well. You know what I mean? So you're supposed to get married. It's Mr. and Mrs. Sean Davis. The children takes on my last name, and that's family. Mm-hmm. So it just continued after that with the whole baby mama, baby father thing, because now the child normally takes on the dad's last name. So now that we're out of order, we have to answer these dysfunctional ass questions when we know that the child is supposed to take the father's last name, because the family takes the father's last name in tradition.
If they marry.
In tradition, yes.
Isn't that? Yeah, if they marry. But if you're not married, who does the child name? Who name does the child have to be named after?
The dad, typically, in tradition.
That was back in the day. That tradition.
I just said tradition. Yeah, that's tradition.
That tradition been changed. My oldest child took her mom's last name because we weren't married. But the rest of my kids, because we were married, the rest of my kids took my last name. At some point, when my oldest daughter got to a certain age, she questioned why is her name different from her sibling's name. So that very much could be a conversation that's
Can I ask you something? Was that something that your wife did, or the child said, "I want a different last name"?
No, the child never said anything about a wanting anything.
So that's not something that the child did. It's something that your wife did.
Right.
That's
Right.
my point.
But no, listen to what I'm saying. So at some point, the son very much could have said, "Hey, mom, why is your last name Westbrook? Why is Why is daddy last name? Um, I said Westbrook.
You got the wrong Russell. The wrong Russell.
Mommy, why do you and
Yeah,
dad
I
have?"
don't. Yeah, I don't think that's this situation.
No, but it could be the situation because, like I said, their situations play itself that way. My
No, the
daughter,
reason why I'm saying, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, my daughter did not realize. I It was on her own cognizance that she realized that her last name was different from, um, at that time, mine and her mother's.
No,
So,
the reason why I said that is because I'm going to assume that like at this point, the child future knows who his dad is, and he knows that Russell Wilson married his mom.
right, but so a lot of times kids
So you know
understand.
that that's not his dad.
No. Understanding the processing of a child at some point. I'm not saying recently that was the question. At
Mhm.
some point, he had to he realized that their last names aren't the same, and he
Yeah,
very much
Yeah.
could have questioned that.
I'm not
And
going to agree with that. Yeah, that's because he was old enough when his mom met this person.
I
Well,
don't
wasn't
think
he
so. He
two?
wasn't old enough when
Wasn't he
I don't
like
know.
2 or
That's what I said. That's why I
that when
don't
they
know.
met? I think
I
wasn't
don't
Little
know.
Future
I don't
like
know.
2 or 3
That's what I'm
years?
saying.
you
I'm
know,
speaking from right now. That's why I said to Derek, I don't know. But he knows who his dad is.
right.
That's why your name ain't Wilson.
But everybody don't understand how that works. If as
But
Then
a
you
that's
have the
how
conversation. You have
right,
the conversation.
exactly.
but that's the conversation that that I'm talking about.
No, I get it. I just don't agree that this will be this situation. This is just way too, like, this is Russell Wilson. Now, if this was somebody else and he was a little child, and I could peek into it, but it's like, your baby mother marry Allen Iverson. Like, Allen Iverson ain't your damn daddy. Like, these are like this is a very unique situation, is what I'm saying. This is extremely unique. To whereas these kids are going to go into the future and
Okay,
read about this stuff because
so here it
they're
says
so
that
famous and powerful.
Little Future,
He was
and
he's
here it says
11
that
years
it
now.
says that Future was only 1 years old when Ciara and Russell initially met, and that was in 2014.
Okay, so now fast forward
He was
years.
10 years
Fast
later.
forward years when the dad, they were beefing, they were going back and forth, they were this, that, and the third. Like, I don't know enough for
he's
this.
only, but that's what I'm trying. That's the whole point, that we're given a different perspective, because now you're talking about an 11-year-old, and I think I would say when my daughter first started questioning why her last name wasn't the same, it probably was around that time, because kids remember the development of a child. Children are very self-centered, up until a certain age, so they don't
Mhm.
care about anything outside of their bubble. So at a certain point, he could
Depending on
very
the child, I agree.
he's at a certain point, he could very much have wondered uh why Russell and Ciara last name is Wilson, his is not, and that could open the door for a conversation. And as that conversation could change his way of thinking of things, where he could have very much well requested that he wanted the last name too.
No, I hear you. I just disagree with this situation here because it's so big and it's so in the public and there's so much of huge celebrities and like I think this is a little different.
But
Like him being like Future, I'm pretty sure like this young boy knows his father's songs. He probably, like I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to assume that Future is absent. I believe that their lifestyles is conflicted.
Right.
I believe that, but I believe this child know who I strongly assume that this child know who his father is. He know who Russell Wilson is because they're celebrities at the top of their game.
But that's what I'm saying. Kids don't look at.
That's a life that we don't know.
Kids don't look at celebrities. Kids don't look at their parents as celebrities. You hear it all the time.
They do. They not to them, but they know who their parents are.
Right, but so a kid, especially an 11-year-old, may see both his dads on television, but to him, they're both his dads. Now,
but they know who they are.
Right, but an 11-year-old could very much say, "I want the last name of the dad that I see on a regular basis over the dad that you tell."
Not disputing that. Not disputing that. What I'm saying is, at a certain point, like we're saying, like he may not. He's asking why my name is such and such and not Wilson. What I'm saying is because of who they are, I wouldn't think that will attach to this situation because this is so much of a high profile situation.
But we're not talking about.
But we still talking about children,
right?
No, we're talking about everyday people. If we're talking, and I said this.
Children are wait a minute. Children.
I said I'm sorry.
Children are children. So they're thinking from a child's standpoint. They not
depending on the child. Some child is more mature.
They're not in their mother and father's arguments and they witnessing he may have witnessed some things. Maybe
that's what I said. Who ain't? You know you was bugging.
You do have the right as a child, if you're growing up in the house and your last name is Wilburn and all my other siblings' names is Wilson and my mom's last name is Wilson and my stepfather's last name is Wilson, he could have said or he could have questioned that he could have asked that we don't know because we don't live in their homes, but that is a possibility. I'm not going to throw that possibility out the window.
I said that because, but the same way I said that, but the same way that you can say that it's a possibility that he did creates the idea and the logic that it's a possibility that he didn't. You understand that logic?
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. And I added to it.
But you can't really throw either or possibility.
That's obvious, cousin. I told you, you got to stop arguing that way. There's two sides of the coin.
I'm just speaking
the same way that you can say that somebody. The same way that you can say that somebody, it's a possibility that they didn't know. That's the logic is a possibility that they didn't know. That's just logic. All I'm saying is in this situation with these people, I just believe that they so high profile, and this has been so much of a thing that I don't think that child said, why isn't my name Wilson? I believe he know why his name ain't Wilson, because that's not his father, and he know who his father is because his father is Future. That's all I'm saying. Now, if it's somebody else, and
it also could be a
all I'm saying is if it's somebody else and they're on a different scale, I can understand that. But when your father is Future, and this been going on for 10 years. This has been going on for 10 years. I don't believe that child would question that thing because he know who his dad is. And that's why your name isn't Wilson. Because you know your dad is Future. Okay. Your name is Future.
You could possibly
his name is Future, right?
And you could possibly be correct in that aspect, or maybe not. And it could also be a possibility that he went to his mother and to his stepfather.
That's
and
not
said,
my. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I want my last name. I want my last name.
That's not my.
There are so many different angles that you can.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Don't give me somebody else's argument.
I'm not saying that. I'm
not saying that. What I'm saying is,
I'm speaking my opinion.
That's not my argument. I didn't ask that. Yeah, I didn't ask that. That's not
anything.
My apologies. That's not what I'm saying. Like, don't get away from what I'm saying. His name is Little Future, right?
Yes,
it's Little Future, right?
Name is Future.
Yes, and he know who his dad is. That's all I'm saying. Wherever else y'all want to go,
no one is taking
whatever.
That away, saying that he don't know who his father is.
Y'all be saying
he does know
y'all be saying
who his father is.
Y'all be saying I be over talking.
Yep, it's my turn this season.
But no, all I'm saying is I don't think that is this. Like, Little Future know who Big Future is. He know why his name ain't Wilson. Now, if it's somebody else and in a different conversation, maybe I can understand and agree with it. But because this is so high profile and this has been going on for so long, I don't think that. Now, he may have said, like, yes, I want to be a Wilson in this, like, with everybody in the household. But I don't think that he would say, why is everybody else named Wilson and my name ain't Wilson? I don't think that's the case. I would strongly disagree with that.
And you have that right to strongly disagree with it.
No, y'all know that logic is spot on.
And it could be a possibility that he asked. It could be a.
Not saying that he didn't ask. I'm just talking about him saying, why is my name this and everybody else's name is that? I don't believe that. I wouldn't believe that. I believe that young man know who his daddy is and what his last name is, and in conclusion,
most of us didn't even know what Future last name was. How can we expect that his kid know what his last name is?
You gonna stop playing?
I didn't know what Sierra's last name was. She was Sierra. When you got people who walking around with first names, so they being called.
Yeah, we may not know, but they know. But in conclusion, I would say I'm just waiting to hear Future, his side of the story. That's all. Not saying I agree with it or I don't. I don't like it. No, not saying I don't agree with it or I agree with it. I just would like to hear Future's side of the story. That's why on every post that I was on and that I created, I said I will remain in the middle because I'm waiting to hear Future's take on
it. And we may never hear that. So
and that's why I said if we don't hear it from him, then so be it.
Misty Boy says Russell may also want to legitimize. Misty says Russell may also want to legitimize child to secure his future as well.
Possibly, but you can do that. You don't have to do that with changing somebody's name. Just put them in a will, put them in a trust.
Right. Raquel said Big Future done changed his whole last name. He didn't change.
That's not what we're talking about. Why we keep talking about different things?
Wait, let me finish the comment. Big Future
because we said this already.
His own last name. He didn't change any of his kids' last names to match his legal current last name. Little Future is 11. He has access to the best of the best education. He literally only saw and seen the biological, how often they have money to travel and for tutors. If Future wanted his children to have his last name, he would have changed all his kids' names to Cash in 2022. Future said it himself. He don't give a and Ciara did
that's
right.
Not celebratory.
Ciara did right by both men. Biological name is still there. It's still their dad's.
It's not doing right by him if he don't agree with it. Like, why are we so much into telling one side and not the other side? We act like we know what Ciara did and what we think she did, and it was all gravy and it was great. And
I think
we painting. Let me finish. We're painting the one side out to be this great situation, and these are great people. We don't know these people.
we don't.
They can be total assholes.
We don't, but I do think that everybody chose to form their own opinion based on either their own personal experiences or the fact that they're just a father or whatever the situation may be. Everybody has formed their own opinion about it. And everybody has that right to form their own opinion about it, because you're right. Nobody knows what happened years ago in that situation where they decided, because remember, he is 11 now. From reports, it states that they changed that boy name years ago.
Years ago.
He was not 11 years old when they actually changed his last name. So at the end,
so can I ask this?
We don't know what the conversation was. We don't know what they decided. All we know is that right now, Future Wilburn Wilson is his new name. And
can I ask this?
What his parents decided to do, that's on them.
Okay. Can I ask this? For one, like, I can change my name all I want to, right? If I'm an artist, Prince changed his name to a symbol, right? Like I said, Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson changed his name to Ocho Cinco. My family name is my family name, right? Me doing dumb nonsense or doing things just for sake of entertainment, that's another thing. Saying that he's 11 now and this was done years ago.
Yeah, that's what the report said.
Okay, that can mean that he was even more manipulated because he was a young kid that didn't know what was going on. Could that even be more possible? Because yes, like, so that don't add to the hold up, let me finish. That don't add to the whole Ciara, yay. She it's the Wilsons, and that can go into they manipulated a 7-year-old. They manipulated an 8-year-old. We don't know.
We don't.
No.
Which is why everything is just an opinion and a possibility, because we don't know. We don't know that he was manipulated. We don't know the reasoning behind why this child's last name, why Wilson was added to his name. Nobody.
I agree. But who's the only person we didn't truly hear from?
Does the legal father have to agree or sign paperwork for the name change?
It will help. Yes, it will help, but don't have to. No. A judge can rule on that. You can create a motion and file a petition, and a judge can say they can grant it. And let's say I'm on work.
I'm just gonna read off of this that I just, how does a judge make a decision about changing the child's last name? And what it says is a judge determines a child's last name change, which requires considering the child's preference, the child's age and experience, the impact on the child's relationship with each parent, potential embarrassment or harassment, and the motives of each parent. The other biological or legal parents' written consent is usually required. Even though a court may waive this requirement if the other parent's rights have been terminated or they are unavailable.
There you go. That's exactly what I said from the beginning of the show. Which basically a judge can rule for what's the best interest of the child. A parent doesn't have to sign off on it. You can petition a court for anything. That don't mean that a judge will rule on it in your favor, but you can put a motion in and petition a court for anything. It's up to you to go to court and argue that. And if he sees it in your favor,
I don't believe that Future's parental rights were terminated.
I don't believe so neither. It just said that she has sole legal custody.
Yeah, she does have sole legal custody, but they still, even though she has sole legal custody of him, she still would have needed his permission. The only two ways that a judge will waive him not signing it is what I just said. Either his
no.
Can I finish?
Okay.
What I just read was that a judge will waive the parent signing off on these two conditions. That either the parents, it says either the consent of the other parent has been terminated by the court, which means his parental rights have been terminated,
or
if you cannot get consent because you don't know the other parent's whereabouts, and that you must prove you've taken those steps to locate him.
Okay. If the parent is unavailable, right? If the parent is unavailable.
Yes, but she also has to prove it. She has to prove that she trusts.
And proof only means.
And this is the only reason how I know this is because I have a friend who actually did this. She actually went to court and got the child's father's name. Not only did she change his last name, but she got his name actually taken off of the birth certificate because his rights were terminated by. Parental rights were terminated by the court within that whole, with her petition that she had put in because he was an inactive parent.
Or he didn't show up for court, correct?
She had to, and because she didn't know, she served him at his parents' home.
You served him?
And have a address, and then she had to actually put an ad in the paper. That's when paper
ad in the paper.
For 30 days to let him know. He did eventually call the courts and he gave his consent.
And that's old school. The name in the paper is old school.
I
don't even think they use that anymore.
Yeah, but she still has show proof. That's all she could show proof that she was by putting it in the paper. So in the paper it had to run for 30 consecutive days. And he finally did contact the court and he gave his permission. He said it was fine that she changed his last name, and he said that he was okay with his parental rights being taken because he had not been active. That child didn't even know who he was because he was an inactive parent for the time 1 year.
Cousin, I've been in family court for 20 years. I'm out of it now. I paid over. I paid $300. Remember, I'm just explaining. I get it. What I'm saying is, you're talking to somebody that's been through it. Right. Yeah, you're talking to somebody that's been through it.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to everybody.
I get it. I get it.
Asked a question.
I get it. I'm just adding on to it. Like, you can read that, but the courts are super biased. You can send a certified letter. You can send somebody to serve somebody. Or you can go to court and that person don't show up for 2 and 3 times. That can be proof for the judge to say that they didn't show up, and they will grant you that. I've seen it happen myself.
Facts.
You can lose your rights by not showing up for court. And it can be, what's sad about it?
And I'm not saying that you can't, but
it can be because you moved. I'm just explaining that. Not saying, I'm just adding on to what you're saying because I've been in the court system.
People do it all the time.
I knew that whole put it in the newspaper.
People do it all the time. People
that's super old school.
They don't have to pay child support. It's a lot.
They do what? Say that again.
It's a lot. Yeah, but that's one of the ways you have to. I said it's a lot because that's just one of the ways you have to show and prove that you actually was trying to contact this person.
Yeah, you don't have to, but yes, that's one of the ways. You don't. It don't have to be
a part of the child's life. So
it don't have to be.
It wasn't even an argument.
I get it. It don't have to be all of what you said. Right? It don't have to be all of that. It can be one of those things. And like I said, you don't show up to court. Okay, we're gonna court adjourned until next month. Let's see if you show up again. Send a certified letter to the house. Send mail to the house. You don't show up again. It's over. And my point to you is when you're dealing with when you're dealing with manipulation in the court system, right? When you're talking about levels like that, when you're worth $200 and $300 and $400 million, it's a different court session.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes, that's why I said manipulation is a mother.
Sure it is. That's why that's why some of us that they able to afford lawyers to do what they need to do. And I'm not saying that they don't, but our hour is up. I thank everybody for tuning in and joining the conversation tonight. This was a healthy conversation, I think. We are back every Tuesday at 9:00. So we hope y'all start tuning back into Candid. And thank y'all all for rocking with us for all these wonderful, wonderful years.
Tell your mama to tell her mama to tune in. We back.
I don't know where you was going, but I was bracing myself for this. Tell your mom.
Lord have a mother.
I didn't know what was about to happen.
My last thing that I'm gonna say about this whole topic before we had, these are my last comments about this whole topic. People may agree, some may or may disagree. I really could care less. At the end of the day, I feel like if you are an inactive father and your child's mother decides that she no longer wants that child to carry your last name, I feel as though she has every right to do so. You ain't got to like it, but hey, it is what it is, and that's just how I feel about it. Do y'all have any last words y'all wanna say before we say clickety clap clock?
Well, I would say before we make any conclusions on anything, let's always get all of the facts. Let's hear from everybody, hear from all parties. I think that's a big problem in our community. We're biased to our genders. We're biased to our sexual orientation. We're biased to our occupation. We're biased to everything and things that favor us. Instead of hearing everything in all parties so we can make the right decision and assess things properly. Another thing is, if we did what we're supposed to be doing, the way that it's supposed to go, we ain't got to worry about the stepfather name and the other stepfather name and the 2 baby daddies over there and the 6 baby daddy over there and the baby mothers and it is. So with that being said, let's just get back to family.
Derek, you got anything you want to say?
Everybody deserves a conversation. There or not, giving you money or not, common decency. If we enter into a understanding, a conversation is granted.
Okay, now that note, y'all. Peace and blessings to y'all all. We will see y'all next Tuesday, same time, same place. Tune in because it's going to be another hot topic.